Let's talk about how special the 49ers have been over the past few years. I know personally, I've compared this 49ers team and Kyle Shanahan to Andy Reid's first stint in Philadelphia, where you have that transcendent offensive mind. You have someone who can draw up a scheme for everything seemingly on defense, but there's always this question mark of whether it's Kyle Shanahan coming into the playoffs being 0-30 when trailing by 4 points or more going into a fourth quarter, whether it's that 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl, or whether it's the only time he loses to Sean McVay is when it matters most in the playoffs versus the Rams. So you kind of have those question marks, but they've been to a Super Bowl. They're in the conference championship seemingly every year. And now, as soon as Brock Purdy steps on the field, it's been conference championship, conference championship. So with that being said, he's still on a rookie contract. Their media is doing the 49ers a favor and downplaying Brock Purdy, and they may end up costing him money in the end, which is crazy with how much they've disparaged him. But what's the difference with this 49ers team over the past 2 years in getting to a conference championship back to back? And is it different with Brock Purdy than Jimmy G? And is he better than the other supposed game managers, as Cam Newton calls, in Dak Prescott and Tua?
Absolutely. When I see Brock Purdy, I see that he can pretty much he might not be as gifted of a passer as some of these elite guys, but he can make the throw when it matters. He's clutch. He's proven that since he stepped onto the field, he's a winner. He's won, I want to say his winning percentage his first 2 years is up there with some of the all-time greats. He's won 4 playoff games in 2 years, which is the most of anybody in NFL history. And I think the difference is he is able to make the throws when it matters, but then he also is able to facilitate like anybody else, where you'll see George Kittle have 5 catches for 50 yards. You'll see Debo have 100 yards. Brandon Ayuk will have 60 yards. And everybody on that offense will end up eating in that same game. And then obviously you have Christian McCaffrey there as another versatile weapon. So I think that the difference between him and someone like Jimmy Garoppolo is Jimmy Garoppolo might force the issue to some of his main guys, especially maybe someone like Debo or George Kittle. I know he really liked George Kittle when he played. And so with Brock Purdy, he doesn't have that ego. He doesn't have that, I feel like I need to get it to my guy. He has everyone around him, and he'll facilitate accordingly. And because of that, that's why you saw them last year, NFC title game. If he didn't get hurt, would they have made that Super Bowl? That's an unknown, a mystery of NFL football. We'll never know. And then this year, coming back against the Lions, having that game against the Packers, he struggles, but then at the late moments, stepping up and making a play when it matters. I think this team is definitely better than the 49ers team of 2019 because I can trust Brock Purdy more than I can trust Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, you can definitely trust him more than you can trust Jimmy Garoppolo. And just the fact that he's also helped Kyle Shanahan's legacy throughout this playoff run, because we talked about how Kyle Shanahan wasn't good historically when he's trailing from behind. And you can point to, well, his quarterback was Matt Ryan. His quarterback was Kirk Cousins, Jimmy Garoppolo. And we get that. But Brock Purdy kind of single-handedly changed that narrative, especially in that Lions game when they needed a critical play and they needed a critical third down to keep the Lions on the fence and to keep the momentum on their side and control the clock. He was able to get it done with his legs. And I think that's just a true testament to Brock Purdy. And then just how he talks to the media, how his teammates talk about him. You can tell that when you watch like someone like Tom Brady talk about what it takes to win, he's doing all of the right things. He's definitely the hardest worker in the room. And then people are talking about how bad his first halves were. Well, Patrick Mahomes fell down 24-0 versus the Houston Texans, and what we said was, oh my God, what an amazing comeback that was by Patrick Mahomes. Brock Purdy falls down 24-7. Like, wow, Brock Purdy was really terrible in the first half. I can't believe his team survived him playing that badly in the first half when it was the defense that cooked and then let their team get down 24-7 when you have Fred Warner, you have Trey Greenlaw, you have Nick Bosa, you have Diamador Lenore, and all of these other great players on your team. And like, yes, Brock Purdy is the only one who is at fault, and they definitely didn't come back because of him. And Kyle Shanahan has always been good in the clutch moments coming back.
You know what Brock Purdy is? He's kind of like the anti-Josh Allen. Yeah. When the Bills are losing, it's, oh, that defense let them down. Oh, the receivers let them down. He doesn't have enough help. And then when he wins, obviously, it's all Josh Allen. With Brock Purdy, it's the opposite. When they win, it's because of all the talent around them. It's the defense there. And then when they lose, it's all on Brock Purdy. You saw that 3-game losing streak middle of the season and how much they disparaged the guy. Oh my God, Mr. Irrelevant. There's a reason why he was picked last. Oh my God, this and that. He's proven so far in 2 years, whether he was picked last or not, it doesn't matter. I almost feel like it almost benefited him if he was just undrafted, because then you'd have the Adam Thielen treatment, you'd have the Tony Romo treatment, you'd have the Kurt Warner treatment. But instead, Mr. Irrelevant, oh, this guy sucks. He was the last pick in the draft. Nobody cares about him. He's proven that was clearly bullshit. He should have been picked earlier.
Yeah.
And he's proven it every single game that he's played for the most part, with a couple of bad exceptions. But he's proven to be a gamer. And the people who are just disparaging him, it's obnoxious. And we've been avid Brock Purdy enthusiasts throughout this entire time.
Yeah.
And it's just ridiculous. And what's ultimately going to be the funniest thing is if he ends up winning a Super Bowl. Because how are they going to keep saying that at that point?
Yeah. How are they going to spin it